Hello, welcome back. Today I would like to speak from the subject, a call to love. I'll be coming to you from Matthew, the 22nd chapter, verses 37 through 40, and it reads as following. Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind." Verse 38. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. In this verse, Jesus was speaking when he was prompted with the question, what is the greatest commandment? And he said the first is that we love the Lord with all our heart, soul, and mind, which means that we should live a life totally submitted to God, wholeheartedly loving him more than anything, making him our highest priority by fixing our affection supremely on him, willing to give up our lives to devote it for his service and to live for him by allowing God's light and love to shine brightly through us. See, God desires that we submit to his will, loving him with our mind. When we submit to God, we live according to the teaching and the principles that's in the Bible. And Jesus didn't just stop there, though. Secondly, he says that we ought to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. We have to be empathetic. We have to treat others with respect and with dignity. Treat people like we want to be treated. So these three verses is a call to action. And two things I want you to know from these scriptures. First of all, when we put these two commandments into actions, all the other commandments that's in the Bible will fall in its rightful place. And secondly, as children of God, we ought to treat others well because this is significant. And God takes action when we don't treat people the way that they're supposed to be treated. It's something that God takes seriously. It is important that we show the love of God to everyone because God has no respect of person. 1 John 4:21 says that, and he has given us this commandment. Anyone who loves God must also love their brother and sister. So you may be wondering, how can we put these verses into action? First of all, we have to live a life that pleases God by being obedient to his word. And this is how we know that we love the children of God, by loving God and carrying out his commands. In fact, this is love for God, to keep his commands. And that's 1 John 5, verse 2 and 3a in the NIV version. And secondly, showing the love of God by how we treat others is this simple. It says that if anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth. This is 1 John 3, verse 17 and 18. So God don't want us to just say that we love someone. But when we really love someone, we should be able to show it with our actions. We cannot claim that we have the love of God in us and ignore people who are struggling, people who are in need. And people don't always have a need that's necessarily monetary. Sometimes people have a need of just a hug, a smile, encouraging words. And I'm afraid in today's time, we are so busy with trying to make our own lives comfortable that we neglect people that we know can use our help, that we know that needs God, or to be able to see the love of God in us. But when we say that we love God and we say that we love his people, there should be something that we do to show that love by being compassionate, by being empathetic, treating people the way that we want to be treated. So I would like to summarize with this. God is calling us to love Him and to love people. This is not an option, and we cannot say that we love God but hate people. The love of God isn't conditional either. He is calling us to love without boundaries, which tears down all the barriers of race, color, status quo. Because remember, God doesn't love us because we're so good. He loves us because He is good. And the love that we expect or we receive from God is the same kind of love that God is calling us to have for other people. John 4:11 says, "Beloved, if God so loved us, we ought also to love one another." For some of us, loving may start with forgiveness because God has forgiven us. And this is just something that I think we should think about, because so many people have problems with unforgiveness. And if you are holding a grudge or you have a problem with forgiving someone, that is not love, because love covers a multitude of faults. So I thank you for watching. I pray that this has helped you. Please do not forget to hit that like button, share, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.